Welcome back to the bAQE channel. My name is Quentin Croft, owner and founder of bAQE Cosmetics, and today's video is the recipe card for our 12-pan essential eye palette. I'm super excited to introduce you to this palette and show you how to use it for anything from an everyday eye look to an amazing, stunning going out look to a colorful look to all of the in-betweens, and show you some fun makeup artist tips and tricks using some of these eyeshadows, from things like filling in your eyebrows to doing your contour. So I'm really excited to show you all of my tips and tricks in my arsenal and to teach you how to do eyeshadow like a pro. So let's go ahead and look at the palette. Here is the gorgeous 12-pan essential palette with our rose gold bAQE logo, just like our full face glow palette. Opening your palette, you'll notice that you get a mirror, which makes it super easy. You don't have to pull out a mirror, use anything extra, and when you're on the go, on vacation, you don't have to pack a mirror or worry about weird bathroom lighting. You can go and get ready in that natural lighting and have a mirror on hand. Now for the colors. Are you kidding me with these colors? I'm so excited. So you have a lot of different colors to choose from here, and you can create a lot of different looks. What's great about these is I'm going to show you how to use them for multiple things. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you on this eye by doing an everyday eye. I'm going to first reach for an eye primer. Eye primers are so important, and this is the bAQE Hyaluronic Acid Eye Primer. This is infused with hyaluronic acid for anti-aging benefits underneath your eyeshadow. What's great about this is it's gonna help the pigment stick better. It's gonna help it not crease. It's not a greasy formula. You'll notice that it is very liquidy and that the pigment sticks right to it. I'm actually a big fan of applying the eye primer with my finger. And I'm just gonna take this little tiny bit of the eye primer and I'm gonna just do it on one eye. But normally I would do both eyes at the same time. But since we're gonna do two different looks, I'm just going to apply this to one eye. I'm gonna make sure to get it right on the corner of my eye and all the way up to my eyebrow here. The most important step with eye primer is A, making sure that you've covered everything, and B, letting it set. With any primer, you wanna allow it time to get tacky. Okay, you don't wanna go in right away or you're gonna be moving the primer around still. You wanna allow it to set on that skin before you go in with any color. Let's wait about 1 to 2 minutes and then we'll get started. All right, welcome back. Now that we've allowed our primer to set up, we are ready for makeup application. For an everyday eye, I'm gonna show you how to get a gorgeous, just kind of everyday glam, like sort of glam, neutral tones, super beautiful. We're going to start with this color here, actually, just to add a little bit of warmth. Now the brush that I'm using, what you basically want to look for is just a nice, fluffy eye brush, okay? So when we're looking for the shade that we're about to do, I like to call this a transition shade. I'm just gonna tap into it, and then using the back of my palette, just tap off any extra. I'm just gonna go in a windshield wiper motion and then grab a little bit more. You can always add more, but you can't really take away. So it's really important to just go in with a little bit at a time and build up to the amount of pigment that you wanna see, all right? So I just want this to be a really light shade, and you'll notice I was just going like a windshield wiper. Here's another tip. If you find that you're pressing really hard trying to get those eyeshadows on, I wanna see you back it up, okay? And not with your booty, but with your hand. Back your hand up to the end of the brush. You actually have more control and allow the brush to do the work the further back you hold it. Now, as we get more experienced and you can have a light artist hand, you can hold right here, okay? But most people, when they hold right here, they kind of hold it more like a pencil, and I liken it to like a little kindergartner drawing with a pencil for the first time. So just back it up, hold it nice and loose so that the bristles are actually what's doing the work and not you pressing. If you press too hard, you're gonna move the product around too much and then it's not gonna look beautiful. The next thing that I wanna grab is going to be a slightly more tapered brush. Just in comparison here, we have a super fluffy brush and then a slightly more tapered brush, but still kind of fluffy. The reason I chose some of these colors is that you can mix colors to create new ones. So we're gonna grab a little bit of this kind of creamy bisque color and just a tap or two of the darker brown and tap off. And then using this, going right on the edge to focus and then drawing it into the crease. Another thing that you'll notice about the way that I'm holding my brush right now is I'm angling upward. This is going to help blend this up with our transition color a little bit more. And just continue blending until you kind of have this crease a little bit better. Sometimes when picking a crease brush, I want it to be a little bit more intense, but on this everyday look, we want it to just be nice and fluffy and beautiful and just really blend it out. So if you want to blend it straight in, you go straight in with your brush. If you want to blend it upward like we were doing, you're going to go more like this. And if you want to blend it down like into your lash line, you want your brush angled this way. You want it angled the way that you want the product applied. Now for the final step of the dark color, this is what makes everyday eyes so beautiful, is that you don't need a ton. We're gonna go back into just the dark brown on a much more condensed brush. So you'll notice that this brush is much smaller and condensed, and the bristles aren't gonna move as much, which means we're gonna get a lot more pigment. And we're just gonna focus that right on kind of that outer third. Now, the way that you blend this is gonna kind of be shaped on your eye. If you have a hooded eye, take what we just did, open your eye and do it right here. I do not have a hood to my eye, so I can apply this in my crease. I have a different eye shape, okay? So when you have a hooded eye, that means that you can't see your lid here. That means that this part of your lid covers this when your eyes are open. So you're going to create a fake crease on your hood. It's also gonna minimize that and make your eye look more open, okay? If you have a hooded eye, you're gonna wanna bring this up with your eye open. If you don't have a hooded eye, close your eye and kind of make this almost like a boomerang or a 7, and the severity, or like a less than sign, like an alligator in math. You want to do this on the severity of just how your eye is shaped or how stark you want this difference to be. I'm doing this more of a boomerang shape today, more of like a little bit bigger than 90-degree angle. And what that's going to do is kind of round out that shape. So this is going to be a completely different eye than what we're doing over here, okay? Once you have that built up to how you need it, then I want you to grab a nice flat condensed brush, really similar to a concealer brush or a cream shadow kind of brush, just these flat, really condensed bristles, because we want to apply our color nice and condensed, okay? We are going to grab this kind of champagne, gilver, antique gold, whatever you want to call it. Again, gilver is a gold, silver, kind of in between, kind of that cool toned gold or antique silver color. We're going to take our brush and we're going to wiggle it. We're going to wiggle it in there. Then we're just going to take this across our eyelid in all of that blank space. And you'll notice I'm using short pressing motions to kind of pack the color on. We're gonna go back in with our big fluffy brush that we started with and that kind of warmer orangey mustard color. And we're just going to blend over the top a few times back and forth just to soften the edge so it's really blended. Then we're going to take that second brush that we used, grab a couple dabs of the cream, just the same order, and the couple dabs of the dark brown, and just reblend that crease a little bit more. Again, if you have a hooded eye, open your eye and do this part above so you can actually see it. And the reason that we do this again is just to make sure that we didn't cover up anything when we put our kind of metallic-y shade on. The next step is what opens up that eye, gives you those big, doe, gorgeous eyes. Do not skip this step. Of course, you can have fun with colors in this spot, but I highly recommend on the everyday using this color right here. We're going to use a really, really tiny compact, almost like an eyeliner brush. We are going to pack that on the inner corner. This instantly opens up that eye. Look at that. Look at that difference. Now we're gonna grab somewhere between that tiny crease brush that we use in the fluffy brushes, just a nice kind of in between, and we're gonna grab this kind of creamy bisque color, and we're just gonna fluff a little bit of that under our brows, just to make sure that our eyebrow stays nice and high without looking too over the top. Now this is where you can do any kind of eyeliner you want, but I'm going to show you how to make an eyeliner out of your eyeshadow. All you need is your favorite eyeliner brush and a mixing medium or a setting spray or a rose water spray or even just some water. However, I stand by MAC Fix Plus. Even though I have my own line, this product is one of the best priming sprays, setting sprays, and mixing mediums. I'm going to spray my brush and dip into the black. You could also do this with brown if you want your liner to be brown. And then just like I would line with my gel liner, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to get this right into, it works just like a gel liner once you get your brush wet. Work it right into my lash line and give myself a little wing. And you could smoke this out if you wanted to, or just simply leave it like that. All right, now for this eye, I would then go in with my mascara or lashes or however else you want to finish this. But before I do that, I'm going to do this eye with eyeshadow and then just do my mascara all at once, okay? So now, again, on this eye, I'm going to go in with my bAQE Hyaluronic Acid Eye Primer. All right, same palette. I'm gonna show you a completely different look. Okay, I'm gonna start the same way, actually. We're gonna start with that nice big fluffy brush and this kind of mustardy, orangey color. And we are going to get that on, just again, windshield wiper, back and forth. Now, this time, instead of going in with our brown cream combo, we are gonna go in with this gorgeous red. It's burgundy, but it blends out, like packed in, it's burgundy, but it blends out almost a pinky color. And we're going to do kind of the same thing, getting right in that crease and on the outer edge. When I want it on the outer edge, I kind of do little circles. And then I go windshield wiper into the crease. You'll notice I am blending it up. Right, then we're gonna grab kind of a mid-range between a super fluffy and a crease brush. And we are going to grab a little bit of the red and a little bit of that dark brown just to darken it up a little. And we are going to come right here on this outer edge, and you'll notice that I am stippling and packing that color into there, just on this outer edge, and then blending a little, building it up until I have it exactly as dark as I want it. We're going to use this same Gilver color that we used on the lid here. We're going to use it a different way. I'm going to use that same spray that I used to turn an eyeshadow into a liner to turn an eyeshadow into a cream eyeshadow. I'm going to spray that flat brush, that same brush that we used on the other side. We are going to get that color on there. And you'll notice instantly that your eyeshadow is like a cream. It's going to make this pack a punch and be a completely different texture. We're going to carve out the crease. How I like to do this is kind of open my eye and know where I want my cut crease to be, and using the edge of these kinds of brushes, very slowly going to where I want to carve out that crease so that there is a distinct line between my crease and my lid instead of a more blended gradient like this side. All right, now I like to do it until about 1/3, and then I like to pull down all the way to the lashes but I like to make it on the top come outward further than on the bottom. This creates a really nice upturned shape to the eye versus a downturned shape to the eye. This is going to just help lift and give you that Disney princess, Instagram makeup artist look. Let's go back in with that red. I want this part, as this goes into here, to be a little bit more blended. So now I'm going to take a really, really tapered crease brush, grab that mustardy yellow orange color. Then we're gonna dip into our red and draw it in a little bit closer, not going down quite as far. And the furthest I've gone down is like about here. So you don't wanna come down too much and give yourself a bag under your eye. We're going to do the same inner corner pop that we did on the other side with that metallic ivory and that same little tiny brush. And we are going to go one last time with that orangey color right here on the edge off of our pink. Make sure that is nice. It has a nice like warm orange tone, almost like a sunset. Right underneath our brow, we're gonna take that metallic ivory and cut right underneath the brow. We're gonna take that same cream color and just blend right between that and the orange. That's a nice soft blend, but it is much more glam than this side. All right, I'm gonna show you how to do a bright blue liner on this side because red and blue play with each other so well in a glam look. So we're gonna take that same kind of a liner brush that I would use with my gel liner and that we used on the other side. We are going to spray it, just like we did on the other side for the black liner, and do the same thing with the blue. I like to kind of keep my eye open so I can make sure I'm right in that lash line. And by keeping my eye open, I'm working with the wrinkles of my eye versus pulling it, and then when you let go, it becomes a different shape because you've pulled it into a shape rather than working with your natural eye shape. What I like to do with the blue so it shows up really well is once I've applied that initial layer, I like to then stipple some more on as it's getting tacky and dry. And this, for me, I feel like gives you a better color payoff. It's almost a little bit dark when you first put it on. Wet. All right. And I don't want to put the blue underneath. I just really like that same kind of pink tone on top. So that is the eyeshadow. I'm going to, off camera really quick, put on my mascara. I'm also going to put a little bit of black pencil liner on both sides, even the blue side, up under my lash line. And I'm just gonna do my foundation base, and then I'm gonna show you some more amazing goodies with this palette, like how to contour and how to fill in your brows. Okay, we are back. I went ahead and did my base, concealer, bronzer, blush, and highlighter. And now this is where, like on a normal everyday look, I would probably stop, but I wanna show you how to utilize your palette to actually contour. You can add a more in-depth contour to the cheater contour that I show you in the Full Face Glow palette video by using this and this mixed together, okay? Or just the brown, depending on how dark your skin is. You need a fluffy eyeshadow brush, like a nice, really fluffy, good blending brush that you haven't used for anything else. It's nice and clean. And 2 taps into the dark and 1 tap into the light, or depending on your skin tone. Then we're going to tap, tap, tap on the back of our palette and right in the hollow of our cheek. If you are not sure where this is, that is from the top of your ear to the corner of your mouth. Start at the back and fade down a little, rather than applying all of our color here and going back. Do you see how now, with this really awesome contour on this side. If this is really intense for you, you can go back in and blend that upward so you still have a more intense one, but not quite so intense. Again, keep it back. If you pull your contour down too much, you're actually gonna drag your face down. Another spot I love to contour is right under my bottom lip. And this just gives you a really nice pout right there. So it just adds a little bit of oomph right to your lip. If you have really bad baby hairs, is you can take a mixture of the dark brown and the black, or just the dark brown, whatever color you need right there with your hair tone, and fill in your scalp. I love it, okay? I also love to contour just under the tip of my nose and right around the edges of my nose, really softly. I don't like to do a harsh contour anymore. I used to love to, but I really just like adding that little tiny bit of definition so that my nose doesn't look flat, just a little. You can get really intense with contour, but you can contour with right here. Another thing that you can do with this palette is your eyebrows, depending on the hair color that you have. You can custom mix your own brow color. Grab a brow brush, so a small angled brush with a spool on the other end, dip into the brown and tap off. Use that spool to comb up my brow first, and going with my brow's natural shape, I'm going to stencil out the bottom of my eyebrow with that dark brown. Stencil out the top of my eyebrow. Now I'm going to take a spool and comb that color in before adding more color. Then I'm going to take some more of that brown and fill in a couple of hair-like strokes throughout and in the front. Then, because my hair is actually darker than this, I'm going to take a little bit of the black and then one tap into the brown and tap off and add a few darker hairs. What I like about using two different fill colors on a brow is you're going to get a more natural vibe because your brows actually aren't all one color. So from there, I like to take the clear mascara primer and comb that through my eyebrow. Just making sure that those hairs are exactly where I want them. And that's it. Let me finish the other brow really quick. Here's the finished look. We have our easy everyday look and our glammed up going out look. We even did our contour and our brows, all with the 12 Pan Essential Eye Palette and the Hyaluronic Eye Primer. I'm so excited to present this palette to you. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you have learned something new. I can't wait to see what you're going to bake up. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, follow for more videos on Instagram at bAQE Cosmetics, bAQE, and be sure to tag us for a feature. Thank you so much.